afternoon, South Africa, and a very warm welcome to you. This is Afternoon Express, and it is a Thursday cook-along, so I have got a superstar in the kitchen. Joining us is Chef Johnny Hammond. Welcome to the show.
Thanks. Nice to be here.
Now, Johnny, what makes you just a culinary genius?
Me? I don't know. I didn't know I was a culinary genius. No, I just love food, that's all.
Yeah.
Love food, dinner parties, and that's why I'm here, I suppose.
I'm so here for it. Now, forget about apples and oranges. On today's Afternoon Express Thursday cook-along, we're savoring exotic fruits with Chef Johnny from Bloemklippen Wine Estate. So come along with me, Balisa Dembe, and let's indulge in today's menu. The stars of the show are a pomegranate syrup drizzled over lamb kebabs, followed by prickly pear jam tartlets. And then we're being joined by our beautiful virtual audience to learn the technique of macerating exotic fruit. And then we're ending it off with an irresistible honey-baked parsimum treat. So let's dig in. Chef Dumi?
Well, yes, Balisa, no other way to celebrate exotic fruits than to use them in our cooking. Most people don't think that you can cook with fruits as well. So what we've got is a pomegranate syrup, and I figured what better way to use it than to throw it to Chef Johnny here and see
Don't throw me with it.
see how we can use it in today's recipe.
Yeah. So winter fruit is the exotic fruits that we're cooking with today.
Okay.
And that I also call it very biblical fruit, because that's the kind of, it's fruit that grows in arid areas like Middle Eastern areas, which is mainly features in the Bible apparently. So we've got the pomegranates, prickly pears, and also things like figs. It's also stuff that grows in our country in the beautiful Karoo, which is a bit more arid. And what are the kind of meat you find in the Karoo and arid areas is mostly game meat or goat or lamb, of course. So what you can do is you can go buy a deboned leg of lamb, or lamb neck is also quite nice. Lamb neck just needs a little bit more longer, lower temperature cooking time. Lamb neck is a little bit less tough. And then it's already cut into cubes here. So you just take your lamb neck and you're going to try and remove all these sinews with a sharp knife.
Now, Chef, as you are just preparing the meat and the lamb there, which I'm looking forward to tasting, on my station, keeping to the Middle Eastern theme, I'm going to be making a couscous. So we've already got the vegetable stock prepared. I'm just going to pour it into the bowl that Dumi's already given me here. And it's hot, so I'm going to just use that heat then to be able to cook through the grains and make sure that the grains are all the way ready, essentially.
On my side, Bali, what I've got in this pestle and mortar here is I've got some whole coriander seeds, and I've got some whole cumin seeds as well, right? That is correct. So those are two flavors or spices that I know work really well.
Very popular in South African cooking, also very popular in Middle Eastern cooking.
Yes,
I mean, there's no boerewors that doesn't have cumin and coriander.
Okay, so Chef, how far are you with your lamb kebabs?
No, so the lamb's already cut, so thank you for the cumin and coriander. So that goes into your lamb meat. You can use lots, but to add, and then you can add, this is the most fabulous spice also. It's made from a berry called sumac, and it's extremely acidic, so you almost don't need to add lemon. And then some more cumin powder is also nice. A ton of salt. Lamb loves sea salt flakes. Or you can maybe, just to keep with the theme, use a desert salt, maybe a Kalahari salt, something local, be cool. And lots of black pepper. And then you just get in there and rub it all through. Just to spice it all in. So make sure it covers everywhere. And then you've got your thick bamboo skewers. You can use steel skewers if you want. What we sometimes use to keep even more with the arid area theme is you go pick olive branches, because olives also grows in arid areas. And then you use the olive branch to skewer, or bay leaf branches, like espetada. I don't know if you know, but it's never allowed to be called espetada if you don't use a bay leaf branch to skewer the meat, like we do. But you can use steel skewers, bamboo skewers, whatever you like. It's the smallest thing can change a dish completely. So that's why I always say, like, cooking methods is very important, and there's a lot of cooking methods, by adding pressure, by adding gravity, by adding heat, or salt, sugar, or acid. Here we're doing a lot of that. We're adding pressure, heat, and salt, sugar, and acid and everything. And the most beautiful thing with lamb meat is also thick cuts of onion. Onion is only quite tart when it's uncooked. This is going to cook slowly with the lamb, and the lamb fat's going to dress the onion. It's going to create natural sugars, pull that out of the onion. So you're going to have a very well balanced between between the sumac, cumin, coriander, the sweetness of the onion, and the smoky, fiery flavors, this is incredible.
I love that. That's coming together quite nicely. I mean, Chef Dumi on my side here, I've already peeled a carrot. How do you want me to prepare this carrot to be able to join the couscous? We also have some peas here. Is this some mint as well? And then the salt and pepper duo with some lemon.
Correct, yes, Bale. So the carrot you can just grate up. If you wanted to, you could also chop it up. And the risk with that is that if you don't chop it up nicely, you might end up with bigger chunks in there. So we're trying to make sure we cook it just a little bit. So you're going to add it in there into the couscous that you've just made on the side. You're pairing it simply with mint because mint is a very Middle Eastern ingredient to use as well. So that's one of the reasons why
also goes well with lamb.
Very, very well. So in this instance, while you're doing that, I'm going to get started with our mayo that's going to go well with this, which I'm going to be using our Clover Classic mayo, some lemon juice, some lemon zest, and a bit of garlic that I'm going to quickly chop up here.
And then we'll finish it, of course, with the beautiful sweet pomegranate syrup that you made 2 days ago.
Love that. I mean, my couscous is done. This is so simple, essentially. The vegetables, I didn't need to prepare them too heavily because the heat coming from the couscous already has cooked through the peas, that carrot, because I did grate it, Dumi, as you said, it's pretty much done and dusted, simple. I'm going to add a little bit of that sea salt, the sea salt flakes that you spoke about, just a little bit, just to add more taste, some pepper as well. And then when I do dress it, Dumi, I'm going to add just a squeeze of lemon juice as well, just to also help with that. You were also speaking about the spice made out of berries, sumac.
Yeah, it's a specific berry,
I love that. So I'm going to hopefully this is going to add. I know that sumac is also a traditional Middle Eastern spice with those zesty flavors.
Yeah, but lemon's good as well.
Here for it. Cool.
The best way and easiest way to cook couscous is to make whatever liquid you're going to be using, boil it on the side, and then add it to your couscous. I normally try to give a ratio of 1:1 because a lot of times if you double it, you do run the risk of overcooking your couscous. So I would say safest bet is always 1:1. If you're going to use 1 cup of couscous, I would say 1 to 1.5 cups of
liquid,
hot water because it's safer rather have an undercooked couscous that you can cook again than to have it overcooked and then you're left with mush.
And couscous also loves, I think, olive oil, tons of olive oil at the end, and also Middle Eastern cooking, and Greek style cooking as well. So that's also what I'm going to add. So this you can also just literally pop in the oven. But before, on a very high oven, I would say 220 because you want the heat to brown it well, and it doesn't have to be cooked through. Lamb can be ate medium. But you cover it with a ton of olive oil. You'll need a lot of olive oil.
Let me also add some olive oil.
That pomegranate syrup, are you adding it at the end or do you want to just use it to glaze?
So I'm going to add some now, and then also when it comes out the oven, you add the fresh. So we can pour some over here, and then I'm going to pop it in the oven. I'd say 220 oven for about 15 to 20 minutes should be fine.
It's perfect.
Beautiful.
While you're doing that, I just want to also show a trick, and I know there's so many people that have this issue with I can never get enough juice out of my lemon. And we've all been taught the trick of cut it in, make sure you use your elbows, get all the juice out and so forth, and then cut it in half, then squeeze. The problem is you're still left with so much juice in the lemon. So I use a trick where you cut it into quarters rather. Press it down, yes, get all the juice that you want out of it, and then cut it into quarters. That way you can use the force of your own hand to get as much juice out of there. That maximizes making sure you've got as much juice out, whereas if it was just half, I promise you, half of the juice is still left in that lemon.
It's still locked inside. I mean, I had a little cheat as well with using this kitchen tool, but here, anything worse, especially because not many people have handy-dandy chefs like Chef Johnny who can bring such things over. So how's it going there with the meat? It looks really good. And I mean, you've got so much left over as well. You can maybe make something else.
I mean, you can put this, you can brown this, and it can be turned into a stew. Or you can just like saute it and cut it smaller, and then it makes beautiful stir fries where you can use lots of root vegetables during winter times. It's coming now. There's a million things to do.
Chef Johnny, I love the fact that you've just mentioned root vegetables. Just the other week on the show, we were highlighting root vegetables as the star, but today we're taking a different edge. We're taking a bit of a short left as we're highlighting exotic fruit. That's essentially what we're using here, that pomegranate syrup.
Yeah, pomegranate syrup is, I mean, it's very easy to make. It's just basically sugar, water, and pomegranate seeds. And it lasts forever, because once you've made it, you keep it in your fridge or on your shelf, and you add it just to anything you please. I mean, it's even good on the couscous. It's beautiful on fire-roasted chicken, on lamb chops off the braai. You can't get anything better, like a little bit of... You put it on the table as a condiment. The South Africans, we used to just cooking with putting salt and pepper on the table. So let's have a bit of fun with our seasoning. It doesn't just have to be salt and pepper.
I'm so Here for it. So let me hand over the couscous. I've drizzled the olive oil quite nicely. And Dumi, this is going to be a nice side to those kebabs. You've highlighted the Clover Classic Mayo in this recipe. Now, I'm so excited about Clover Classic Mayo because it also, for me, echoes and mirrors that fattiness in the olive oil.
Correct, Balisa. And the other thing is, because of the fact that we're using Clover Classic, we've got the options whether we want to use the really tangy one, which is 3, or the not so tangy, which is 2, which is my favorite, or the nice and mild, which is the 1. So 1, you've chosen to have very strong flavors with the spices, so keep it light on the tanginess. You know, we've got lemons and lemon zest in our dressing and in our couscous, so we've chosen a lighter type of mayo because that's what the options are there. That's what Clover Classic does for you, gives you those options, so you don't have to take the very strong mayo in this instance, you know what I mean?
Signed, sealed, delivered.
I love mayonnaise.
And Chef Johnny, not only do we love mayonnaise, but we also love what's coming up throughout the show. Now, we are celebrating exotic fruits, so how are we going to do that in the next segment?
So the next segment, we're going to make jam with prickly pear.
I'm going to be finding out more about that coming up. Now, there's no doubt that this recipe will be a crowd pleaser. And if you've missed on any of the steps, just head over to afternoonexpress.co.za to get the full list of ingredients and recipe.